In the bustling city of Lagos, Nigeria, the University of Lagos, UNILAG, stood as a beacon of education and opportunity. Among its thousands of students was Ada, a striking, beautiful young woman with dreams of a comfortable home. Ada came from a modest background, and her struggles had shaped her into a person who yearned for financial stability above all else. Her best friend Kemi was her confidant and advisor. Kemi, a sensible and grounded individual, often warned Ada about the pitfalls of chasing wealth through dubious means. However, Ada's resolve to change her circumstances was strong. Ada's life took a turn when she met Chifolumide, a wealthy businessman who was a regular at a high-end restaurant and clubs frequented by the city's elite. He was in his late 40s, charming and a suited power. Despite being married with 2 children, Chief Olumide had a reputation for being a philanderer. One evening, Ada caught his eyes. Her beauty and confidence intrigued him, and he approached her. They exchanged numbers, and before long, their interactions became frequent. Ada knew he was married, but the allure of his wealth and luxury he offered was too tempting to resist. Kemi was appalled when Ada told her about the affair. She tried to reason with her friend, warning her about the consequences of being involved with a married man. Ada, this can only end in disaster. He is using you. And what happens when his wife finds out? Think about your future. But Ada was resolute. She believed Chief Olumide loved her and that he will eventually leave his wife for her. The gifts, money, and attention clouded her judgment, and she dismissed Kemi's warnings as jealousy. Months passed, and despite the lavish gifts and secret rendezvous, Chief Olumide showed no signs of leaving his wife. Frustrated and desperate, Ada turned to juju, a form of traditional magic, to bind him to her. He sought the help of a local priestess who performed the ritual to make Chief Olumide fall deeply in love with her and leave his family. The spell seemed to work. Chief Olumide's behavior changed. He became more attentive and began discussing leaving his wife. Ada was elated, believing her dreams were finally coming true. One evening, Chief Olumide invited Ada to his mansion. It was the first time she would see the home he shared with his wife and children. As they walked through the grand hallways, Ada marveled at the opulence. However, her joy was short-lived. Chief Olumide's wife, Ifeoma, walked in on them. Instead of reacting with anger, Ifeoma calmly addressed Ada. "You think you have won, but you have no idea what you have walked into," she said cryptically. Chief Olumide, under the influence of the juju, declared his intention to divorce Ifeoma. What Ada didn't know was that Ifeoma was the true source of the family's wealth. She came from a wealthy lineage, and all the properties and businesses were in her name. Chief Olumide moved in with Ada, leaving his family behind. Initially, Ada basked in her victory, but things quickly turned a turn for the worse. Without Ifeoma's support, Chief Olumide's businesses began to crumble. He had been merely a figurehead. Connections and business acumen had been the backbone of their wealth. The luxurious lifestyle Ada had enjoyed began to vanish. Chief Olumide became irritable and resentful, realizing too late the essence of his folly. His children refused to see him, and his reputation in the society plummeted. The reality of their situation set in. Ada's guilt and regret grew. The man she had ensnared was now a shadow of his former self. The love and admiration he had showered on her turned into bitterness and anger. The life she has envisioned crumbled before her eyes. One day, in a fit of rage, Chief Olumide accused Ada of being the cause of his downfall. "You and your juju have destroyed my life," he yelled. The words cut deep, and Ada realized the full extent of her action. Ada sought out Kemi, who had distanced herself after seeing Ada's relentless pursuit of Chief Olumide. With tears in her eyes, Ada confessed everything. Kemi, though hurt, offered her support. "You need to make things right, Ada. The path of deceit and manipulation that you have taken has only brought you pain." Determined to atone for her mistakes, Ada visited the priestess who had cast the spell. She begged for a way to reverse it, but the priestess warned that undoing such magic came with its own set of consequences. Desperate, Ada agreed to the reversal ritual, hoping to free herself and Chief Olumide from the binds of the juju. The ritual was intense and left Ada physically and emotionally drained. When it was over, the priestess warned her that the path to redemption would be difficult. With the spell broken, Chief Olumide slowly began to regain his senses. He realized the extent of Ada's manipulation and felt a mixture of anger and sorrow. He returned to his wife seeking forgiveness. Ifeoma, though hurt, agreed to try and rebuild their lives for the sake of their children. Ada, now ostracized and penniless, had to start anew. She faced the consequences of her actions, but was determined to build her life honestly.